Okay, before we get into this episode today, I want to share something with you. The next round of the Spiritual Investor Mastermind, it starts in May 5th to be exact. This is a container that is literally mind blowing. I mean, even around the third week, you're going to be like looking back on yourself. Really, it's the IV drip of kind of the experience that you would have gotten here, or if you've been in any of the groups. It's really, really a way for spiritually conscious investors to stop circling the edges of their wealth and to actually go vertical. We go deep into the markets, we go into intelligent portfolio design. I teach you how to, you know, you don't necessarily have to take all this risk in order to make money. You don't necessarily have to love the market and be checking it every day. I teach you how to integrate it into your life as something that you enjoy and you apply your creativity with. I watch every single cohort. I watch people be able to get to a stage where they're literally looking back on a version of themselves who made less money, who was afraid to invest, and they're saying, I don't recognize that person anymore. Like I said, it's 12 weeks. We do have payment plans for it, so don't think that it's something that's going to be out of your reach. The spots are limited in it and it's always full. So that's why I want to bring it up now, let you know. Just go to thespiritualinvestor.com, fill in an application. It'll be in the show notes as well. So, all right. I will see you in the room there. Welcome to another episode of the Spiritual Investor Podcast. Okay, I know you've heard me say this before where I have a special person for you to meet and all that, but like, I don't have any new language for how this is a difference here. I was just telling Nikki that I almost can't stand seeing her like virtually and not actually seeing her in person. So that'll give you a little indication of the connection that I have with Nikki. I also, I'm not even going to get emotional about it. There are a few people who have changed my life as much as Nikki.
Oh,
So, yeah, I am excited for you guys to meet her. She's extremely powerful, and she actually is going through the mastermind right now, the Spiritual Investor Mastermind. And her coming on here, of course, we always look at these things and we're like, oh, of course it was going to happen this way. Very divinely guided. But really, it came out of our last mastermind session last week. She asked a question that she'd sort of been sitting on and then finally asked. And then it just opened the floodgates for so many people in the mastermind that, afterwards I said, maybe this will help other people clear things up. And so I don't know, it's going to be a little bit an experiment. Was it in the context of the conversation we'd already been having in the mastermind? Are you guys going to be able to sort of jump in this jet stream? I'm going to go ahead and say right now that we're just going to talk and say it from the way it occurs for us, with letting go of the responsibility to over explain everything. Because I will say, this is what, 6 weeks into a 12-week mastermind, or 5 weeks into it, something like that. That's take what you can get, take what you want, take what you get, and then leave the rest. And then just kind of that way you're freeing yourself up from not having to like put the whole maybe you'll get the whole thing. Maybe you'll get it so much that you'll be coming back and telling me what it means. So I don't know. Anyway, so Nikki, thank you for being here.
Oh, what a wonderful way to introduce this podcast. And I love you so much. And when Elizabeth asked me to be on the podcast last week, my mind went into freak out mode of, yes, but give me a few months so I can be perfect and prepare. And she lovingly said, this is here now. Can we do it like now? And I was like, yeah. Now? And then just the way that she said it and the energy that was coming through her, it was like all the fears went away. All of everything that doesn't matter went away. And it was just like, I know that I can help people by explaining my story because people can relate. And I was like, let's do it. So whatever you do over there energetically and who you are, thank you for existing.
Thank you. Thank you for saying that and being part of it. And thank you for opening that too, because I'm gonna tell, because I can't not tell it, because I don't want this to be about me, but I have to insert this into there have been so many moments that you changed my life. But there was one, I know you know what I'm going to say too. This was back in 2018 or 19, somewhere around that archaic time that seems like 3 decades ago now, with all the shit that happens as fast as it does. You said to me, when you see the power in you that the rest of us see, your whole life will change. I had like a literal shift in timeline in that moment. And I allowed it in, and I heard you. And so much has come out of that. I'd say even what you're seeing in the mastermind now is very much a function of that box that you opened for me.
Wow.
And I see you do that for people, Nikki. You have that shift that you're able to get to give people because of your intuition and because of your intelligence, and even your background with the stuff that you do, helping people with businesses and all that. It's like you have this window into it, and I don't know, it's really powerful. So yeah.
Thank you for telling me that. And that's funny because you are actually doing the exact same thing for me right now in the mastermind. So, you know, the whole journey of life and personal growth and the whole visit to Earth is, you know, it's a spiral, and we have to go through lessons multiple times sometimes. And
Yeah.
You have showed me in the mastermind that what I told you in 2018, you are reminding me of that, of like, oh yeah, I also need to hear that. I think we all need to hear that all the time, because it's so easy to forget that. So thank you. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're welcome. I think it's a great representation of what we try. We have this concept, we say unconditional love, but I think that's what it is. It's like you were an open space reflected back to me, and I was an open space reflected back to you. Part of it came from not having to see what this looked like, which goes into our conversation about planning and all that, right? We always knew you were going to do a mastermind, but we never knew which one. And it just so happened, you know, you've now had your 2 kids and you're in a different place in your life. And I don't know that it would have even been the same if you'd been trying to sort of like, you know, do it in a different way. So yeah, but speaking of planning, so Nikki is absolutely the most astute. I mean, you talk about, you can really rely on Nikki to understand and put together a structure. I am a bit the opposite. And so I think that's one of the reasons that like Nikki and I, we are like 2 puzzle pieces, because it's like there's no wrong or right. There's no better or worse, but we definitely sort of help each other see, you know, that. So I don't know. Do you want to give them your question? Do you want to read it, or what do you think?
It's so funny, Elizabeth, because I don't know if you remember this, but we are the exact same human design. We have the same profile. We have the same strategy. We're both manifesting generators, 4-6.
Mm-hmm.
Yet we're so different with like
right.
the nonlinear. So that's always fascinated me. I've always wanted to ask Emma, who you had on your podcast, about it. But so my question was, in the mastermind, Elizabeth was talking about planning. I love to plan. And she was talking about how you can't plan from circumstance. You have to plan from this new identity. And I was like,
oh no.
I'm like, wait, okay, hold on, because like I have a strong identity around planning, right? Yes. And so she's saying you can plan and you can create, but it can't be based on circumstances, because that's chewed gum, which that was mind blowing for me. I'm like, yes, that makes so much sense. But when you go to actually apply that in life, sometimes that's just really, really hard. So it was a perfect timing because right now in my life, I'm doing a big transition, moving internationally, and we're looking for a house to rent. We leave in 2 weeks. We didn't have a house, and I'm like, I have 2 kids. I'm like, I got to find a house. And so I'm thinking, I'm going on Zillow, and I'm like, okay, Elizabeth says, it's don't live beyond your means, but also don't live from circumstance. I'm like, okay, well, living beyond my means is this amount in Zillow. So, I can set in Zillow houses under this amount. But then she says, but don't plan from circumstance. I'm like, wait a second, but that's the old me, that number. And then I get in my mind, I was like, oh my God, what is happening? So that's when I looked to for help. So my question was, the difference, I was having trouble understanding the difference between not living beyond your means and planning based on circumstance versus creating your world from certainty, which you said.
Well, what did I say? Because your interpretation is what's important. Like, what did you get from the answer?
Oh, that's a good question. There's what happens in the mastermind. This mastermind is so amazing. My life has just been flipped upside down. What happens is like you get these. It's like you're in a portal inside the mastermind for that hour that you have it, and then when you listen to the replay too, and it's like everything makes sense, and then you go out of the portal, and it's like a big test, and then you have to like remember, and you have to fight off all of these shadows and dark energies that are coming, and you're like, no. So what you said was, you actually didn't even answer the question. You said, like, throw all of that away, or don't look. Like, it was just kind of like, let's put that aside and think of a whole new perspective. And you asked me, what is your intention with the house? Which brought me back down, grounded me, because in my mind, I was going into, okay, I have to have a backyard for the kids. I have to blah, 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 blah. And I'm not one, I don't have to have a fancy house. Like, I just wanted a backyard. I was like very hyper focused on the backyard because that's just what I thought. That's what I've always needed. I've always needed that like nature space for me and the kids. And then you totally questioned me and you said, well, maybe the old Nikki needed a backyard, like maybe from last year needed a backyard, but does the new Nikki need a backyard? And then when I really thought about it, I listened to the replay. I was like, oh my God, no, I actually don't need a backyard. So anyway, you asked me all these sorts of questions instead of focusing on the goal, which is, okay, find the house under this amount. It's like, no. What's the intention? And so then I had to get really clear on the intention. And the intention now is, I want a house that's safe. I'm living in South America right now, so it's not the safest. And so I want someplace that feels super safe and where we can have fun. And that is it. I realized literally that's it.
That's so
And
great.
so then I'm like, okay, well, that opens some things up. Instead of like stressfully looking at Zillow at all these houses, it's like, wait, where can I have fun? And actually, I haven't told you this. So here's what happened. So before that call, I was, months on Zillow looking for a house. And I had found this house. It was in our old neighborhood. We're moving back. We loved our old neighborhood. And I saw it, but it was only available for 4 months. For some reason, the owners are coming back. And I was like, well, that won't work because I need a forever home. My poor kids, they're moving back and forth internationally. They're going to just be messed up because I'm moving them everywhere. And then I have to move them again after 4 months. And so I discarded it. I completely discarded it.
Mm.
And then, and it was, let me tell you, it was at $2,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had the call, and you said the whole thing about intention. I realized I didn't need a backyard, blah, blah, blah. And then I really thought about it. And I was like, okay, if my intention is to have fun with the kids and to be safe, well, safe checks that box. And I'm like, oh my God, this place could be really fun. Could you imagine as a kid having an empty house? By the way, we don't have any furniture because we sold everything. So we have zero stuff. I'm like, imagine a kid in an empty house, no furniture, like a bed, of course. And there's swings hanging from the ceilings because we have 2 swings already that you hang from a ceiling. There's like jumping foam blocks for the baby. There, like, can you imagine running around playing hide and seek? Like, how fun would that be as a kid?
Oh my gosh.
What
Oh
a
my
memory.
gosh.
And I was like,
Yes.
oh my God, I did not see this. I was absolutely in the jar.
How great.
Could not see this.
Mm-hmm.
And then you opened it for me by having me focus on something else. And then after the call, I was like, oh, this has just relieved so much pressure. I didn't think about that house on the call though. So after the call, I went on Zillow and I saw that house again. And it was, guess what? $1,500 a month. It went down.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
But the funny thing is I wasn't even looking at the price. I looked at the house and I was like, wait a second, this house could, and then I had all those ideas about the empty house. I'm like, actually, I think this is a perfect fit. I'm like, you know what? Let's do it. And then I looked at the price. Then I was like, oh my God, it went down 500.
How
So we haven't
perfect.
signed the lease yet. It's not for sure yet, but it's things, we already applied for it. I think it's looking good. It's just such a great story of how one perspective shift can change everything. And now I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this 4-month like transition fun chapter. And it's just changing everything.
That is
from that one thing.
Huge. That is huge. Yeah. And that is like a letting go, allowing in, a letting go, allowing in. And it's really amazing when that happens in the same moment. And that happened because you were willing to go vertical with it. You were willing to, that's the thing. Like a lot of times there'll be that moment of letting go and then the allowing in stops because it's like, oh, but this, oh, but that, oh, but I won't give up this, or I won't give up, all of that. But you were really able and willing to look at it from, what if you were brand new?
Yes. Okay, let me pause there for a second, because when you say go vertical, that doesn't resonate with my brain, actually. You say that a lot in the mastermind, and I'm like, I kind of get what you mean, but kind of don't. But now I have my own interpretation of going vertical because of what you teach in the mastermind, which is be new. You can be, empty, and you can choose to be new at any time. So actually during the mastermind, I had a crazy spiritual moment sitting in the forest of the Andean mountains here, where I went down there without my phone, just with a notebook, and I just sat there just reflecting on one of the calls. And I had this crazy experience of, oh my God, I'm just visiting here. And I've heard maybe you've seen that on social media in like a romanticized reel or something of like, we're just visiting Earth. But it was this like deep connection of, I don't belong. Like I am a visitor here. And when you say that you are source, it became so clear to me. I'm source. Like I come from source and I'm visiting here. Like this is a temporary, it was so clear to me, the feeling. And I related it to, I did the Peace Corps. And I'm like, this is like doing the Peace Corps. I chose to come to Earth to do my service, like my Peace Corps service. I'm here to help people and just enjoy my time here on Earth. I'm just visiting, and then I go back. And because of that, I was able to have that feeling of being new. And so it was like when I would open my eyes and see the trees and the birds and everything, it was like seeing it for the first time. It was like, if I'm just a visitor here, like everything's new. And I can choose to have that feeling every day if I slow down and actually connect with that and remind myself that I am source. And so what I have to do with everything that you teach me in the mastermind and everything, I actually created like a new identity list for myself. I am this. And I've of course done that in the past. I've done personal development for a long time, affirmations, blah, blah, blah. But before, it was just kind of saying them, maybe not really connected to them. But because of what you have taught us, I actually feel it, like actually see it and feel it. So I repeat them. I look at them in the morning because I feel like what happens is in the morning we get all this energy that's not ours that takes over. And you have an opportunity in the morning, and you have an opportunity actually every moment of the day to say, no, that is not mine. What is mine? And remind yourself, I am source. I am new. I am empty. And then you make decisions from that, which is what you taught us for investing. And that has been a game changer for me for investing too, is getting empty first, reminding me that I'm source, and then going to buy the stock or selling the stock or doing whatever. That has been huge. So sorry, I'm rambling there, but
no, you're not. This is amazing because it's great to hear the experience of it through you, because what you're alluding to is like you said, because I mean, you've done personal development course out of the yin yang. You've been doing personal development for longer than just about anybody I know, right? And you're really, really, you go deep. You're not the type that just like takes on something and then, throws it away. But what you said about it's hard to explain. Like there's the concept versus like it's in your cells.
Yeah.
When it's in your cells, then going back to this planning thing, there's not as much planning because we're just the natural self-expression of it. And so there's something that goes on in the mastermind, and it happens every round. And it happens in a different way because we've got different people, right? It's not just me. It's the power of everyone in there. And there's something that happens where there's something that gets into your cells. And when that happens, then you're no longer in time. And then you start to be able to like you just described, like, your version of being in the now was you're a visitor. Like I couldn't have delivered that to you. That had to come from you. That's wisdom within you that didn't have a way to get out.
Yeah.
And so the breaking of the structure, which effectively occurs inside of the mastermind, it allowed that and then once that happens, then you're not just saying, oh, here's what happens when you're in the now, or go meditate, or da da da. Like you're actually in the now. And from that, you actually, it doesn't, nothing else makes sense. When you live from the now, not being in the now, living doesn't make sense anymore because you go, oh, well, the only time I have unlimited possibility is in the now. Anytime I go outside of the now, which is in time, I'm just walking inside of a fence again. And then you're just changing the fence and changing the fence and changing the fence, right? Like we change environments. That's a fence. We have a certain way of being with it, right? And you're now an embodiment of that. So your power, it's like that's the gateways of your power that is opening.
Yes. I can literally feel that in my cells. That was such a good explanation. It's cellular work. Like I said, I don't know
Yes.
what you're doing over there. I don't know what's happening, but it is a completely different experience than anything I've ever been a part of. And what's fascinating about it is every single person who goes through it has their own journey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very nonlinear. And you know
Mm-hmm.
me, I used to be very linear. And even when I was helping you with your business, I was like, step one. And you're like having such a hard time with that. And I'm like, no, we got to do it linear. And now, I see your nonlinear method it's your method. Like you can't be a linear person. You can't. That's not you. And so that has opened up so much for me. And yeah, everyone just has their own journey and their way of processing it and relating to it. I thought I was joining the mastermind to focus on my investing accounts and learn about the stock market and money management. And I was like, oh, perfect timing because we're going, this life transition and new jobs. But yes, of course we do 3D investing inside the mastermind, but that's not the work.
Mm-mm.
That's not
No,
the work.
because if people were going to invest from who they are, they would have already done it before they met me. So I don't do them the disservice of here's how you become a master investor. They become the investor first, and then I teach them investing. So I scramble the order, and I can feel when it needs to come in. It usually comes in. We kind of switch into more investing around week 3 or 4. But going back to this nonlinear thing. So, and I'm glad you brought up when you and I work together, because Nikki has done so much in the spiritual investor, and my team, by the way, she's like, Nikki's their hero, right? They absolutely adore her. But yeah, we started this. This was a few years ago, and we came in and we were like, okay, how can we take this stuff that's sort of almost like coming through me that feels like it's in the clouds, and how can we bring it down to, how can we bring it down to earth in a step-by-step process, right? Because that's how things are done, right? And we tried it and it just didn't work. Okay, so here's what I found out. This is what this is going to give you an example of me then versus me now. And I'm even understanding this more through this conversation, to be honest. So, back then I was operating at a level where I was kind of just like, oh my God, I just have to manage my energy and just allow this stuff to come through. And then that's all I could do. And then, but the difference now is it was almost like it's nonlinear. I can't help it. I can't do anything more about it. That's all I can do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was all I could do. And I'm glad I left it and didn't force myself into something, right? Because now, what is this? This is probably 4 years later, right? Now, my ability has elevated, not to make it more linear, but here's where it switched. It's non-linear, but I don't stop it. Okay, here's it coming through. It's a fire hose. Either you can drink it or not. Now I have the ability the information sort of hangs out I can sort of see it in the space. And then I can see now how it's moving through. And I could do this even with a lot of people, right? These masterminds are like at least 35 people, right? I can do it and I can see it move through. And then I can hold the space for them and support them and be a safety and a trust for them to design their own linear step by step, which is what I was trying to get to years ago, but I didn't have the wherewithal. So now I take an elevated responsibility to, that's right. It was never supposed to be my step by step, because if I give you a step by step, let's say investing, 5 best stocks, well, guess what? The next minute later, it's old news.
Yeah.
But if you design your step by step from the space, and it reminds me a bit of, do you know how when we're in relationships that are really safe and loving, I mean, even as a parent, right? We're talking about this. We can expand into and we can see ourselves. And so what it's really is, we're all becoming space holders for each other. We're becoming elevated space holders who are so within ourselves, but not within ourselves in exclusion. We're within ourselves to the degree that we have more availability for others, and they are able to find what they need to in our energy. So I allow people to come into my energy rather than sharing my energy. That's the big difference now. And my level of not needing as much and my level of stability and even certainty, there's no fear if I'm going to allow that. Do you know what I mean? Like
I know.
I don't feel like
Yes.
someone's going to take something from me because I'm solidarity. Like I explained it, we talked about in the mastermind, like this light beam, right? And then everything else is the shadow, and the
Yeah.
shadows get sucked into it. So I don't know. It's a really esoteric concept, but I think that you get what I'm saying, because everybody has their own experience of this, that they're doing it too, to varying degrees in their own relationships.
I know exactly what you mean. And it's as if the mastermind and the energy that you're bringing creates so much love and safety for people that it doesn't exist anywhere else. It's a different kind of safety. It's not like when, people talk about trauma and creating, I don't even know how to explain it, but it's a very soft, gentle energy, yet powerful. And you create that space for us to remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even, I wouldn't even say it's discovering, it's remembering.
You're right. You're right, Nikki. You're right.
It's remembering by you. And I want to point out that by you remembering your power and stepping into your power by creating this environment, this mastermind, it's automatically allowing us to remember our power. That's what's happening in the mastermind. And then when you remember your power, I mean, sky's the limit. You go off on how you're supposed to do things. Like you said, like your own process. And so that, I feel like that's what's happening is you're making this space for everyone to remember. Everyone's like, it's kind of like popcorn. Oh, I'm remembering my power. Oh, I'm remembering at a different time. And then everyone has their own process and is getting different things from the mastermind, because everyone needs different things. And it's just a beautiful co-creation. Absolutely beautiful. And I would love to also go into parenting with this. I mean, It's been a game changer for me for parenting. Who would have thought joining an investor money mastermind that I'd become a different parent? And you always say in the mastermind, it's not about, I'm going to mess it up. It's not, it's about managing your energy, not making money. Right? And that was it just, yeah. I mean, that's all it is. It's all about managing your energy, not focusing on, okay, how can I make money? When you manage your energy and manage your emotions, I mean, everything opens up. And so with parenting, I was, so focused on the 3D of, money for them and me and all the life, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, no. No, I have evidence from this time in the mastermind that the biggest gift I can give my kids is the ability to manage my emotions. Like them seeing me managing my energy and emotions, and then knowing that that's the way to get in the flow of money. Not, okay, go sweep the floor for your chore. I'm going to give you $2. Like, no. It's completely opened my mind and perspective of parenting. And I see that managing your energy and teaching them that and modeling them that is the biggest gift.
Thank you for that. Thank you for seeing that and sharing that. Yeah, it's, you bring something up too, which, I really didn't think about this in this level of depth before, but anything we teach our kids really right now about money, I mean, we could question the relevance that it's going to have in 2 decades, given that what we're seeing with money changes and all of that. You could also say that what most of us are trying to do is to get rid of all the shit that our parents taught us about money, because it is so irrelevant. And so what you've really brought to the surface here is, when I look at how money really flows, it flows based on certainty. They're feeling a certainty within you being able to manage your emotions.
Yeah.
And so when you bring certainty to a situation, and I think this is kind of why that it is the basis of this, is because when I'm certain, then you don't have to worry about me. You don't have to do anything to take care of me. You don't have to, you can just feel you. And there is a relief point, because most of the world, you go out in the world and somebody's asking something of you. A lot of times you feel out of control because they're asking you for something you don't want to do, and you feel you've already obligated and you're going to do it, and someone's taking this and your time and da da da. So, like, going back to the parenting and the mastermind, really, if you talk about this, I think that there is a relief point that people are getting things. It's a space where people are getting things that they don't get in the world, because they might not have safe relationships around them or supportive. They might not be seen, but you as a parent, you're allowing your children to be seen. If they see themselves, then they can make any amount of money that they want when they're 18 years old.
Exactly.
That's how the real money comes in. And so I don't know, I'm not a parent, but I would venture to say I would actually take as much language relating to current modern money as I could out of it, and switch it to them actually being the money conduit. They're the source for money, rather than the external world giving something to them, because that's the whole concept, is we don't get money, we invite money in. And that could be really a fun thing to do with kids, I think. And they're so intelligent. Sure. They're just such on a whole different frequency and bandwidth and all that, that, like, I swear, like, I even see kids in there, like, we have some kids in the program, and I've got kids, friends with, that are mid-20s. And I'm like, I wasn't doing that when I was 27 years old. I was like, I had a backpack on, actually, at that time, traveling around Europe, and I was drinking beer. It's like in meeting Australians, and they're like already like 5 years into their corporate career with investing accounts. I'm like, okay, well, there you go.
Yeah, it's just exactly like, and the work is, you've got to do it yourself first. If I want to pass it on to my kids and model that and teach that, I have to do it first. Obviously, this isn't something where you can just say, oh, you're a conduit for money. Like, no, you have to actually embody it and model it. And so that's, this is the long game. This is a long game. And it's so worth it, this work for them. And the other thing too is, with that meditation I had and that experience in the forest, is they're not mine.
I see. That's fascinating.
Which is so hard to.
That's freeing, process. Though, isn't it? That's so freeing for them.
It is so freeing. It's so freeing. Your kids are not yours. They are not mine. Like, if you think about your parents, like, I don't belong to my parents. I'm my own. I am my own. Like, it's the same for them. And so it totally shifted. It's like, wait a second, if they're not mine and they chose to come here just like I did to visit Earth, then my only responsibility is to keep them safe right now, because they can't do it themselves, to keep them safe physically, and then love them as much as possible. But other than that, like, trying to control them, trying to put ideas in their head, that is not my job. My job is to let them be. And so that is one of the crazy, unexpected things that has come from the mastermind. They're not mine, but it's just, parenting is just so different now. It's just so, it's like I took a breath, and it's like, oh, so much relief. Like you said, so much relief. It's just like permission to not operate from how everyone else is operating. Permission to remember that And I have said this myself years ago, everything is made up. Everything. Somebody
Yes.
just made up.
Yes.
And sometimes you forget that. You just like going along with how things are. And you're like, wait a second, that's just made up. Do I want to go with that? Or do I want to do my own thing? And so again, another example of you providing the safe container for me to remember my power. That's another way. And it's showing up in so many areas. It's showing up in parenting. It's showing up in my money decisions, showing up in my relationship with my husband. And let me tell you, we've been through almost 8 months of marriage counseling and individual therapy, like intense for the past 8 months. And combining that therapy with this mastermind is like amazing. I'm just, things are connecting, and yeah.
That's so incredible. God, thank you, Nikki. Thank you for doing it, you know? Yeah. I mean, you allowed it in. Yeah. So great. Well, what's next? You're moving soon. You're coming back to the
Yeah,
US.
we move in 2 weeks, and
Yes. I get to see you in person at some point.
Yes, we're making it happen. It's
Yes.
going to happen.
Yeah.
It's going to happen. Time doesn't exist. There's no timeline. Yeah, what's next is, that's an interesting question. What's next? Because the old me would have said, well, this and this and this. And I don't know what's next, Elizabeth. And I love that I don't know what's next. For the first time in my life, I love. And that's the other thing too, is you hear people say, oh, just trust the process. Like, just trust. And that has worked for me in my life. I have just trusted. But in this mastermind, I learned it's more than just trusting. You can't just trust and then just like go back to doing the same thing.
I hate that phrase when people say it. And I don't tell people I hate that phrase, but that's why I teach around it in the mastermind.
Yeah, it's not tangible enough.
It's not. No, well, it's going to leave you hanging. It's like when people do money mindset, or they do manifestation or something, and then 6 months later their business still isn't making any money. Like, that's because someone left you hanging, because that's not the end of the process, because the self-expression of you doesn't really exist in that. It's just a concept. Trust the process, trust the universe. The universe has your back. There's all these phrases.
Yep.
I think to a certain degree, it does give people a relief point, but then it also just keeps people in a cycle of just kind of like looking for that relief point, and then they're not really getting what they want. All I care about is, do you have what you want, and do you have it now? Really, that's what we're looking for. We're not looking for a process to get what we want. We believe that we need a process to get there, so we sign up for it. Give me what I want right now. And that's a little bit of, people in my life, especially the people who have like been like super like involved with me, they laugh at me because they're like, there's a saying that goes around, Elizabeth always gets what she wants. And I'm like, yeah, I've been like that since a child. Why wouldn't everybody just be like that? Of course I get what I want. I just put certainty behind it, and I just don't believe in time. It's not that difficult. And here's the deal though. You mentioned the love thing. If you have that, you say, I get what I want and I don't believe in time, and it's the energy behind it is not love, what will happen, and this is what we're seeing outside of us, is manipulation will happen. So because I know that I'm putting behind it is love, and this goes into knowing ourselves, not needing as much, I can, it's almost like I can leverage that a bit. I can get behind it because I know what energy is going to show up in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes total sense.
And so we have to get out of this. I get what I want is ego. No, it's not. It's ego if it's not backed by love, and you're the only one that can tell us that. And you can't tell me that, but you could show me that, because I will feel that when I'm in your energy.
Yeah. And the only way to get that is if you slow down and connect with source and empty out and detangle from everything happening in the world. That's the biggest issue, I think, for people is the slowing down and like the hard work. I mean, that's hard to slow down and connect with source when you haven't been doing that.
It is, because I think people think it's like doing less, and nobody wants to do less, because then that feels like that you're further away from what you want.
Mm-hmm.
But and I think it's the language even. So the slowing down, I can see why the relatability of that language. The way that I sort of look at it is I actually look at it as an allowing in, because
Yes.
slowing is related to time. So I can't
Yeah.
help but have my brain go, oh, what else does that mean? Allowing to me means an opening, and I can
Mm-hmm.
allow, just even in this moment here. Eckhart Tolle, he's done his damnedest for how many years to get people to like pause in between sentences. What he's trying to do is to get people to allow, because we
Yeah.
go out and we have all this stuff that we want and we're creating it, and then we had a call yesterday in the advanced group where someone's just their schedule's so full they can't. Where's it going to get in? You know?
Yeah. Yes. I love that. Yeah. The allowing in. Yeah.
Because
It's
that
like
can
we're
be
not,
done in just now.
yeah, it can be, yeah, any
Mhm.
moment of the day. And I think that's the key that changes everything is allowing.
Yes,
It's really a decision though. It's a decision to allow.
it is. It's a choice. You have to
Yeah.
choose it, because nothing can get in until you choose it. But the allowing in also isn't just silence. Allowing in most of the time requires a shift in perspective.
Yes.
So it's both, and multiple other things as well. There's a whole frequency thing. There's a whole energetic thing that goes with it. There's this frequency stabilization thing, which I'm writing about in the book right now, which is, you know, I think that that's apparent in the mastermind. There's a stabilization to it, right? So it's funny because there's not a structure. I mean, there's a loose structure to it, but there's a stabilization that you can count on when you come into the mastermind. And we
Yes.
all kind of crave that. We all want to know. We go through McDonald's because it tastes the same, right? So it's a replacement. That you're going to be held in a certain way consistently. Then you get to decide, okay, well, what do I do in this space?
Exactly. Yep. There's magic happening over there.
It's everyone.
It's
It's every time we put these together, I'm like, oh my God, these are the perfect people. And then I say it again and again and again. Yeah.
yeah, it's just been amazing. I we could talk for hours about all of the perspective changes and it's not even done.
No, it's not
We're not
done.
even done with
No, it's not
mastermind.
done. No.
Um, and just
No.
my life has been completely changed. And yeah, I
Thank
don't
you.
even know what to say about that, but
Yeah. Well, speaking of magic, I would suggest to anyone listening to this, I would suggest that if you want to, where should they get in touch with you, Nikki? Because as you can tell, Nikki, as I started this, opened me up to the power that has just continued to expand and expand and expand. Nikki has something that she can switch people on a dime. I've seen you do it with me. I've seen you do it with other people. And that is something that you can't really explain. And it's like people going down the wrong road for decades. And it's like, here's the other road. So where would they find you?
you can find me on Instagram, The Aligned Visionary,
Okay. All right.
Nikki at thealignedvisionary.com, email,
Okay.
and that's what I'm doing. Yeah. Outside the jar
Yeah.
perspective consulting, we can call it.
Yeah. And so you also you've taken several businesses, but one business in particular, I know you took it from like very small to multi-million too. So Nikki's not just talking from here, let me align your vision. She's also talking from, no, she's already built a business that has done really well from the ground up. So that's what I was saying. That's why you came in and helped me with the spiritual investor, because you also, there's a relatability factor too. If you're with someone who's trying to scale a business, you have that structural understanding of what that's going to take for them too.
Yeah, it's kind of like those. I mean, I bet you feel the same way. It's when you are just in your essence doing what you're here to do. It's just, I don't know what I said that changed your perspective. Like I'm just saying stuff. It's like what you're here to do just changes lives. And so yeah, with outside the jar consulting, I'm just able to see outside the jar like you are for so many. And it's so powerful. I think everyone, no matter if you have a business or not, everyone should have that person or that place where they're able to get that outside the jar perspective, because that's what it's all about. It's life-changing to have that in your life. Yeah.
It is. I think otherwise, to a certain degree, you end up repeating the past.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I know.
Over and over until you get it.
I know. Even the success that we've had in the business, sometimes I find myself wanting to repeat it, and then I go, nope, what would the new version do now? Right. But like you say, it's a choice. Yeah. So thank you. Thank you so much for coming on here and being with me and sharing this and being with everyone here. I know that people got something and heard something and saw themselves in you. So thank you for being vulnerable and sharing and all that.
Oh, thank you, Elizabeth, for changing my life, and for, honestly, thank you for existing and for remembering your power so that you can do this mastermind and change people's lives. Everyone should do the mastermind. It's mind-blowing. Thank you.
Yes. Yes. All right. So I will see you guys on the next episode. So much love to you.